So we have another local news story here for New York City. Here we have this character. Mayor Eric Adams defends firing of top internal jails cop after union pressure. So Eric Adams fired one of the internal investigators in the Department of Corrections. I wonder why. First off, let's hear this joker at a news conference with his word salad and, talking about how he's, doing the right thing, blah, blah, blah.
To appoint people that are capable and then sit down and allow them to put together the team that they want to implement a very aggressive plan. And once they lay out, this is why I'm making these personnel changes. If it makes sense to me, I'm going to follow through and allow them to execute their plan, because I'm going to hold them accountable like New Yorkers are going to hold me accountable. When I ran, I clearly pointed out that DLC is a focus area for me. That level of dysfunctionality is unacceptable. And the people of this city will judge me at the completion of my time as mayor to determine did I live up to my campaign promise.
All right. So he's saying personnel changes. Yeah, sure. We're doing personnel changes, especially in Department of Correction, because it was so dysfunctional, and that's a real area of focus for me. And when I bring in these new heads, if they want to shake things up and switch up, personnel, as long as I think it makes sense, I'm going to follow through with it. And, the people of New York will judge me upon the completion of my term as mayor. Blah, blah, blue, blah, blee. So what the hell is he talking about, and what is he referencing? Let's see. Mayor Eric Adams defended the firing of the top internal cop in city jails after an outcry from the union, claiming NYC residents want him to fix the problems on Rikers Island. So he's firing an internal cop to fix the problems on Rikers Island. Okay, let's read more. The people of the city will judge me at the completion of my time as mayor to determine that if I lived up to my campaign promise, Adams said at a press conference appearance. They are not going to look at who was, as you said, sacked or who was no longer there. They're going to ask me one question. Did you fix the problem? That is all I'm focusing on. Wow, okay, so he really wants to fix problems. The comments came in response to the termination of Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Investigation Serena Townsend, who had been lauded for her progress on the internal use of force case under the federal monitor. Maybe that's why union pressure was asking the mayor to get rid of her. She had been lauded for her progress on the internal use of force case under the federal monitor. Interesting. Townsend, whose firing was first reported by the city, processed nearly 10,000 backlogged use of force cases over her 3-year tenure and had been with odds with the Correction Officers Benevolent Association. Well, what do you know? We had someone who was actually doing their job and holding police accountable. And what do you think happened? This is like one of the rare times where like internal investigations were actually, for once, doing the right thing, right? There was 10,000 backlogged use of force cases. She came in, well, there's tens of thousands of backlog cases, let's be serious. But she came in 3 years, she got through 10,000 of them. And if you know anything about cop unions or correction officer unions, they really don't like when people are held accountable. I mean, your union is supposed to be there to fight for you. I get that. But if you're a criminal, I don't think your union should have to represent you or lie on your behalf. If you're like an actual criminal, if your case is found that you were, your union can represent you in your case, I mean, that makes sense to me. help you get a lawyer, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, no wonder they were at odds with Serena Townsend. The firing followed newly Department of Correction Commissioner Luis Molina's rollback of a strict sick leave policy that was implemented to stop correction officers from calling out when not sick, a widespread issue that continued to a staffing crisis. Adams defended the changes, which were a series of easy victories handed to the jail's largest union as part of his plan with Molina to revamp the beleaguered city jail system. I told him what I wanted done and that the conditions I want on Rikers Island and all of the DOC facilities, and he's going to execute that plan. All right, I'm done reading that bullshit. This is just typical New York City politics, typical corruption. You will see people on YouTube telling you have to vote for Democrats. If you get enough Democrats, this can happen, blah, blah, blah. This is what Democrats do. The same as a Republican would do. Serve donors, serve power bases, and fuck over people who are trying to do the right thing. He fired a very successful IA officer, an internal affairs. She was investigating cops for beating the shit out of inmates, and she was getting through tens of thousands of backlog cases, and obviously Eric Adams can't have that. Eric Adams can't have that. Yeah. That's how we handle things here in New York City. Blue City. Go Democrats. Woo!